of the whole dome and for the final ceremonies before midnight. Let's go back and join Gabby Roslin.
Thank you very much, David. Yes, we will be back with you soon. But now, the latest on the Millennium Bug with Peter and Philippa.
Indeed, and Gabby, we mustn't forget that with all this excitement going on, there are some very, very worried people all over the world. The Millennium Bug, has it struck or hasn't it? 35 minutes from now, we'll know what's happening in this country, what's happened over all the rest of the world. Those bugs are going to crawl all over our computers and make the planes fly out of the sky. Are they doing it or not? Well, now let's look at our bug watch map. Here it is. And the big threat really seems to be in Japan. Nothing much has happened in Southeast Asia. But when you get to Japan, the bug seems to have possibly struck in two places, two really rather serious incidents at Ishikawa and Onagawa, both of them nuclear power plants. At Ishikawa, and the radiation monitoring system has failed just outside the actual nuclear reactor itself. That happened at midnight. It hasn't been put right. They don't know whether it's bug-related. At the Onagawa power station, alarms sounded after midnight, but they seem to have put that right. Also in Japan, 38 earthquake seismic sensors seem to have failed since midnight. Again, they can't be sure whether that is bug-related or not. Now, there was a big scare all over the rest of Asia, by the way. There's no sign of any bug-related damage at the moment, although, of course, it's very early days. People don't get back to their offices till Monday or Tuesday. We can't be sure things aren't happening all over the world behind the scenes. But one really big scare happened when the Russians fired 3 Scud missiles from southern Russia into Chechnya just here. And the Americans immediately asked their Russian counterparts at the NORAD headquarters of Colorado Springs, where the Americans and the Russians are meeting together, and they said to the Russians, "What's this?" And the Russians said, "Don't worry, it's not bug-related. These are local tactical missile firings at Chechnya." So that is not a serious problem as far as the bug is concerned, although it must have caused untold havoc in Grozny. Now, here we have Turkey, and in Ankara we understand that they had to reset the pipeline computers' dates because the pipelines were reading 1999. They weren't sure that those pipelines are still going on to go on. The Iraqi oil pipeline, if the 00 date came up, they weren't sure. So they switched it back to 1995 to be sure. All the rest of Western Europe, still no sign of any activity. Of course, in Italy, great questions. Italy was the last really to prepare for the bug, and there are worries there. No sign yet that there are serious problems there. There's the midnight line approaching us. We'll know about Britain very soon. The only other important event that seems to have happened so far is that in Ottawa, the Canadian capital, apparently the local Defense Department experts there have decided that the excess keys to the Defense Department's secret safes and so on aren't safe enough to use because they haven't been made bug compliant. A sign that even in a place as sophisticated as Ottawa, they haven't yet got themselves sorted out just minutes before the vital time comes. Philippa.
Well, so as Peter said, just over half an hour to midnight here in the UK, and they are gearing up for possible bug problems at the government's Crisis Command Centre in Whitehall. The BBC's Stephen Evans is there. So, Stephen?
Philippa, behind me you've got representatives of all the government departments here, and they're waiting anxiously, the Department of Health, the DTI, the Treasury, all that kind of thing. But I have to say, what they're telling me is not a twitch from the bug, not a tweak. They don't expect it really, certainly no signs so far. Now, this is the latest government bulletin, and it says, bold letters, there have been no Millennium Bug problems reported today in the UK. But just to emphasize what you were saying before, they're also getting information from the embassies, British embassies all around the world. And if you go down the list, South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, Manila, no sign from the embassies here. So either the bug is dead, or it's dormant, or perhaps, who knows, it was never there really in the first place.
Well, that's the official line that you've given us there. What does it actually feel like? Do they feel like they're confident there?
You do get the sense that they are confident. All the people say that preparation had to be done, and that's why there will be no problems after midnight. Of course, we won't know whether the Millennium Bug is actually there until the millennium. And in some senses, you won't really know until we all go back to work, because there are two sorts of Millennium Bugs, if you like. There is the bug in people's computer where the date changes to 2000 and the computer can't quite work out what that is. But there's also a kind of a virus which malicious people put into computers, and we won't know if those viruses are in until people go back to work and log on and open documents which have been sent to them.
Okay,
now,
Stephen?
some very big corporations have decided to take no risks with that, so they're actually using faxes over this midnight period.
Stephen, thank you very much.
This bug doesn't seem to be there.
Thank you very much, Stephen. We'll be back with you later, talking more about the Millennium Bug and keeping track of what's happening in the UK. Michael.
Philippa, thank you. We shall wait and see. We've been talking a lot about the achievements and significant moments of human history. There's one coming up right now, the reunion of two men who made the nation laugh.